Welcome back, friends. I've been hard at work putting the finishing touches on my 1920s inspired New Orleans Glade of Trust, so today's speed build will feature a glamorous mansion build using the Bouff mansion and the new greenhouse pieces from the Star Path. This build was designed right across from my Tiana's Palace build, so I incorporated some of the opulent elements of that build into this design. With their 1920s stained glass look, the greenhouse pieces just seemed like they were perfectly made for the Glade. Whether you're here for a cozy background video while you're working on your own valley, or whether you're watching for inspo, please consider liking and subscribing for more speed builds and tours, tips and tricks, and touch of magic tutorials. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Let's start with pathing. As I mentioned, as the two buildings are so close together, I'm going to be using the same pathing in the same intricate pattern as I did for Tiana's Palace. Using the natural pond here as the focal point, we're going to build out the border brick pathing and the main street pathing around this area. Both of these paths just look fantastic with the colors of the Glade, and they really complement each other as well. I'm going to play with the pattern a bit here since the footprint of the pond won't quite let me put pathing everywhere that I want to. What's most important to me is that the left and right sides end up symmetrical, even if the top and bottoms don't. And we're just going to finish up pathing with our third layer here. And then I'm going to go in with little squares of Main Street pathing just to add a little bit of extra visual interest. Now, I thought about using purple trees here. The lush sinister firs are one of my favorites, but I just love the moss-covered trees because they really sell that New Orleans mansion look, so we're going to put these on either side of the house. Next, we'll start in on the greenhouse. If I had more space here, I would have brought the greenhouse forward and had it dominate more of the foreground, but having the pieces frame the house and then curve along the back behind the house actually makes great use of this space, and I just love the way that the two domed pieces look next to the mansion. The colors just work so well together. My favorite thing about these greenhouse pieces is that they so seamlessly fit into one another and other items because the footprint is just so tiny. I mean, look how snugly they fit up against the house. I would absolutely love it if they would give us more items like this in the future. I'm hoping that the building kits from Wish Blossom Ranch have small footprints like this too. So we're going to play with the two different types of walls here. That way the greenhouse will feel open and airy, and then I'll be able to add in some trees and arches and other tall items later. Okay, so we're just going to finish closing off this left side, and then we can start on pathing. While the gold and opal pathing just seemed like it was a little too much for the front of the house, I really like the way that it looks here. It's just the right touch of elegance to make this a little bit more of a formal greenhouse rather than a rustic one. I mean, look at that pathing. It just looks so great with the greenhouse pieces, doesn't it? Now we'll start decorating the inside of the greenhouse. We'll start with a teeny tiny water feature that will fit perfectly in this space between the path and the house. And since that might look a little bit odd sitting there by itself, we're going to add these Lion King waterfalls to go on either side. They'll just add to the tranquil atmosphere that we want to create in the greenhouse. I'm pulling out the pathing here on all 4 sides because I want to place these lemon trees here. I know we don't have orange trees in the game, but I wanted to make this center of the greenhouse area just kind of a little citrus spot inspired by the orangery in Bridgerton. And of course, it's always important to rotate these so that they don't look too uniform. Now I'm going to start incorporating some fancy elements, starting with this Parisian set that you can craft with the wrought iron that you get from Remy Quests. And I'm going to make liberal use of these gorgeous craftable arches that you get from Lumiere's Friendship Quest. They're absolutely the most stunning arches, and the wisteria looks so fantastic in the glade, and honestly it really complements the Bouff mansion. These statues from Storybook Vale are also a game changer. They are perfect for adding an elegant vibe to any build. So we're going to put one on either side and then add some atrium candles. And these potted magnolias from the Mulan Star Path look great here too, just adding a little bit of color. I wanted to get all these items down on the floor before I put the third domed piece in the center here, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of adjusting to get it to fit. Okay, so I'm adding these magnolia trees at the back here so that they'll just kind of clip into the walls and peek into the greenhouse. These trees are so great for clipping. The green version of them do the same. And this way the petals won't overwhelm the greenhouse. You just get a little bit of a hint of pink petaled branches on each side to complement the wisteria arches. Now on this right side of the greenhouse, I'm using the fountain tile, a vase, some statues, and atrium candles just to kind of create a little mini statue garden. And the Vitalis lanterns in the back here add a little bit of warmth. These elegant potted trees from the premium shop are great for adding some extra greenery. And of course I have to add some beach grass because I love that overgrown look back here. Since we didn't use the domed greenhouse frame back here, I'm going to add this pretty caged arch from the Cinderella collection, just to add some more color and visual interest. And now it's time to add the foliage in the front part. I'm going to use these tropical plants here because even though they really fan out and fill up a lot of visual space, they only actually take up one space on the grid. We're going to use these Parisian tables again, this time to hold foliage. This pretty lavender potted plant that came with the vineyard house will look great here on the right. And we'll go ahead and add another one of these potted magnolias. It'll work on the left. And for the front, I crafted some of these Eternity Isle planters. Their exotic blooms look perfect here and they add just the right fashionable touch for that 1920s look. Now for the left side, I didn't want to go perfectly symmetrical for this build, so while I want some of the same elements, I'm going to be using some different items. This fountain from the Hercules collection has a nice small footprint, but it doesn't play nice with the arch. So we're going to actually switch out this arch for the caged arch. And when I think of greenhouses and conservatories from this time period, I always think of intricately potted plants and trees. So we're going to use these cherry blossom trees from the premium shop on either side of the fountain. Then we'll add these small seaside royal plants since they have such a tiny footprint. Again, I crafted some more of these Eternity Isle planters, this time with the black glass flowers and white birds of paradise, just to kind of frame out the entrance. And then we can add some fan palms here at the side for some extra greenery and style. The Cinderella carriage planter is the perfect size to go in this spot and it matches perfectly with the arch. And then on the left hand side, we will add another of these Parisian tables and chairs just to finish up the greenhouse. Alright, now back to the front of the build. I'm incorporating the wrought iron fencing since I used it in my Tiana's Palace build. And it's going to elevate this pond and make it look a little fancier. But I want to make sure the fishing is still accessible, so I'm going to use a couple more of these romantic arches on either side. Then, to once again elevate the area and add some of that 1920s opulence, I'm going to add these fan palms in the corners. And since we have room here, I'll also add in some butterfly flowers down here at the bottom. I love these potted plants. I used quite a few of them in my Tiana's Palace build. I used them in my Aladdin build. Honestly, I just had to use them here. They just add a little bit of extra charm. And since these lion statues have such a small footprint, they'll look fantastic just tucked away in here next to the royal potted plants. For the sides, I want to add some water features, so we're going to use more of the romantic arches. I told you I was going to use them a lot. And we'll use the new elegant fence from Storybook BELLE just to frame out the area, and then we're going to add the water pieces. I'm going to add a waterfall at the back here, but I'm not sure if it's going to fit on the other side, so it might just be on this side. I'll add some seating at the front here. If you've seen my other builds, you know how much I love this sparkling Cinderella bench. I'll add some pathing underneath just to give the pond a nice border. And since this looks a little bit plain, I'm going to add a butterfly flower and some plumeria petals. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add some more of these Lion King waterfalls here in the corners. That way it doesn't just look like a solid pool of water. And then we'll add in these cypress trees to frame out the sides. And then we'll start working our way to the left side of the build where we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm adding wrought iron fencing at the front here just to section the whole thing off. And then I'm going to add some decorative wrought iron fencing around these trees. Now for the last little decorating bits. Adding butterfly flowers to fill in this narrow passage between the house and the greenhouse. We'll put some flagstone path pieces to lead off the main path to each side of the greenhouse. And trees to frame both sides of the entrances. So there's just this last little bit at the front of the build. We're going to add a little bit of intricate pathing here, just like at the top of the build, and then we'll add some foliage. And because a little bit of lighting goes a long way to elevate a build, I'm going to add these simple lamps back here along the path. Add some water lilies to the pond, and this build is basically done. Now for a sunset tour of the mansion grounds and the greenhouse. I want to take a moment to thank every single one of my amazing subscribers. Your views and likes and comments really warm my heart, and each interaction helps my small channel grow. It means so much, you truly have no idea. A special thanks to my channel members. Your extra support of the channel means so much, and your contributions help keep the cozy content coming. If you've enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Thanks friends, and I'll see you in the valley.